Welcome back to the IBSP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Bam Rodriguez and Teofimo. Look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And Bam Rodriguez got off the canvas to stop Estrada in a terrific performance. And this man showed heart. He showed grit. He showed pound for pound tenacity. Bam Rodriguez is truly one of the best fighters in the sport of boxing. Obviously, has to be a top 5 pound for pound consensus pick throughout the sport of boxing. If you don't have Bam Rodriguez top 5 on your pound for pound list, you are truly delusional about the sport of boxing, and you should not be involved in any making of any pound for pound list. Now, I've had a lot of people come at me and tell me about Bam Rodriguez and they're not impressed, and they talk about Tank Davis. First off, Tank Davis and Bam Rodriguez should not belong in the same sentence ever. I mean, the fact that Bam Rodriguez is a pound for pound fighter, that man has an excellent resume at 24. He's done more at 24 than Tank Davis has done at almost 30 years old. Tank Davis has not done what Bam Rodriguez has done. Tank Davis is not a pound for pound fighter. He may be a pound for pound talent. He may have the talent for the pound for pound, but he does not fight the guys necessary for pound consideration. His resume sucks. So that's a huge issue. So anybody comparing a 24-year-old Bam to almost a 30-year-old Tank makes no sense. If Bam Rodriguez was going the Tank route, he would literally be cherry picking and ducking until he's about 30. So at the end of the day, you know, Bam Rodriguez is leagues above Tank when it comes to putting in work. His accomplishments and him being on the pound for pound list is no comparison. Then we move on to Teofimo. Then when you look at Teofimo, you know, he dominated Steve Claggett, in a one-sided fight, but people were not impressed because Teofimo didn't get the stoppage. Teofimo didn't stop this guy, and the reason why people were not impressed is because when Teofimo fights a guy the level of Steve Claggett, you're supposed to go in there and not only just dominate the guy, but put him to sleep. The expectation for a talent like Teofimo is much higher than a regular fighter because he's truly special. Now, the issue that I have with the fight overall is that Teofimo does this. 1 minute he'll look, average, pedestrian, and the next minute he'll look phenomenal. So it wouldn't be surprising if Teofimo comes out in another big fight and dominates or do something special, but even looks kind of mediocre against a Steve Claggett. This is how Teofimo performed. He has ups and downs. Now, when you look at it, Teofimo said 2 contradictory things post-fight. One, Teofimo called out Isaac Cruz for a unification fight. So that fight would be at 140. If Teofimo fought Isaac Cruz, I'd have to pick Teofimo. I know a lot of people will pick Isaac Cruz. A lot of people are emotional. A lot of people look at that Steve Claggett performance and they wouldn't have a lot of confidence in Teofimo. But I still think Teofimo has star potential and talent within him, and if the right Teofimo shows up on the right day, he beats Isaac Cruz. I mean, that's just my opinion. Teofimo also stated that he has plans to move up to welterweight and become a 3-weight world champion following his win over Steve Claggett. Bob Arum said earlier this week that Teofimo and Brian Norman Jr. could happen next for the WBO title. Now, when you look at Brian Norman Jr., this guy's looked sensational lately, and that would be a hell of an accomplishment for Teofimo if he was to go up to welterweight, beat a young, hungry champion, Norman Jr., and just show the world that he's a 3-weight world champion looking for greatness. I would have no problem with that from Teofimo, although I think that would be a much more difficult fight for Teofimo. I would never count Teofimo out of any fight because the man has showed us in the past that when he's up for a big fight, a big challenge on a big stage, he always comes through. Teofimo has never lost a big fight.